Welcome to the Big Game Hunting Podcast, where we help hunters like you prepare for the big game hunting adventures you've always dreamed of. Now, here's your host, John McAdams.
Hello, John McAdams here, and you are listening to episode 262 of the Big Game Hunting Podcast. First off, don't worry. My Africa podcast hunt recap episode is coming soon. I wanted to delay it for a week or so in order to give us some more time to edit and produce the video that we're making of the hunt so I can release both the episode and that video in tandem together. All that stuff is in production. With luck, it will be ready next week for a 22 June release. In the meantime, I wanted to tell you about another big development that I'm really excited about, the release of AXIL's new XCOR earbuds. I've been a big believer in AXIL hearing protection for a long time. I liked, and still like, their GS Extreme earbuds, but I think the new XCOR earbuds are a big step up in quality and fix a lot of the issues people didn't like about the GS Extreme earbuds. Now, the folks at AXIL sent me a set of the new XCOR earbuds just in time for me to take them on my recent hunt in Africa. I wore them every day over there, and holy cow, am I impressed with how they performed. In that vein, Weston Harris is back on the show with us today to talk about the new XCOR earbuds, what makes them special, how they're different from the GS Extreme earbuds, and other types of hunting ear protection that are out there, and what the future holds for AXIL. Before we get started, make sure you are on my email list. To do that, click the link in the show notes or go to huntingguns101.com and sign up there for my free ebook on the best hunting cartridges. You'll get my free ebook when you do that, plus you'll also receive the emails I send out every weekday. These are entertaining and informative emails about hunting, shooting, ballistics, etc. I get feedback all the time from people telling me how much they enjoy receiving those emails and how much they look forward to hearing from me every weekday. So make sure you are getting those emails too by going to huntingguns101.com and signing up there. Okay, let's talk to Weston about the new AXIL XCORs. Weston, it is a pleasure having you back on the show. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come and talk to us about the new XCOR earbuds. So for the audience, you were back on the show back in bonus episode number 4. You talked about AXIL at a very high level, and we talked about the GS Extreme and your Tracker Blue earmuffs and whatnot. For those who didn't listen to that episode, can you give us a very brief overview of who you are and then what your background is?
Basically, with AXIL, this has evolved from a family legacy. So my dad, Robert Harris, started in the hearing aid industry 65, 66 years ago, was one of the pioneers in the hearing aid world, going around, small clinics or small communities doing door-to-door sales, helping people with their hearing. He was also a very avid outdoorsman, did the first full color feature sound films in hunting and shooting of the African Safari and the North American Trophy shows. Some of those have been featured on some of those old-timer footage that he had, are some of the main ones that Jim Shockey and some of the other TV series out there have used to show some of the old-time footage on it. So I grew up with a family legacy of helping people hear better, and also outdoors and sportsmen and shooting, hunting, all of that. And so fast forward in my early 20s, I followed my dad into the hearing aid industry. I went in and started from my first dollar into the business, knocking doors, and grew that out to about 60 hearing clinics, working with the CVS pharmacy chains and Walgreens and Walmart, plus my own chain of hearing aid stores. And so I had that for about 18 years. And then back in 2000, about halfway through my hearing clinic run, back in 2000, I launched a company called Sport Ear that did high-end hearing aids with protection built into them for the avid outdoorsman, sportsman. Through all my time running through hearing clinics and pharmacies and Sport Ear and Cabela's and Bass Pro and all those things, realized that we needed a much bigger, more universal brand name, because there are a lot more audiences out there besides buck marks and camouflage, that really needed the help of what we were putting together. And so back in 2009, 2010, realized that what I really needed to do is take the best from my hearing clinics and my sport ear experience and merge that into one final brand that could really go out there and do for the space of hearing and ears, like what Oakley had done for eyewear, or what Under Armour had done for fitness wear. And so began working on coming up with the correct brand story, studying and researching that out a lot so I'd never have to rebrand again on it. Really started focusing heavy on the innovation side and building out, the manufacturing capacities and enhancing our own manufacturing capacities on everything, and just building everything out so that we could really come up with that proper brand story, to the audiences that we're going after, and that proper, that really strong, innovative pathway to get out there and really take this from being very stale hearing aid category, or cheap foamy earplugs, or cheap plastic earmuffs, and really start turning this into from a stale, boring category to a very technologically advanced, very exciting category. And that's what I've spent more than the last decade doing. And then about 3 years ago, we really saw that massive crossover right in the spring of COVID hitting, where our GSX came out, and that just exploded, became the number one selling earbud from all of our reports and research for Ear Pro with Bluetooth in it, in America. And then we've been expanding beyond internationally and coming up with additional products, and also getting ready to wrap up the XCOR true wireless earbud finally and get that launched to the market. So that's high level AXIL.
So it seems like over the past, say, 3 years, thereabouts, the GS Extreme has not been the only product that you guys offer, but it seems like it's been the main one, certainly, that you've sold the most of, and that's where most of my promotional efforts have been. I have the GX Custom and the Tracker Blues as well, which are also good, but they're just a little bit different from the GS Extreme. Is your goal with this new product, the XCOR, which we'll talk about here in a second, to supplement or to replace the GS Extreme?
To supplement, to give an additional higher end offering to those who want it. Even since the launch of our XCOR, our GSX sales have actually been increasing, by bringing out the XCOR. And so, we feel like there's always a market for that. The price point on that and how we go about that is phenomenal. And that's the 2.0 really took that up a step. And we're getting top professionals, in military, industrial, all kinds of very credible arenas who are constantly calling back and they're ordering, for their whole group, for their whole agency, for their whole department, whatever that GSX 2.0, because they're thrilled with it and they love it. And they recognize it as a very solid set of earbuds and piece of gear that they need for what they're doing. Now the XCOR comes in and takes that to the next level. And so where we go with the AXIL brand is we look at this and say, there's things here that we're doing, and we're doing it more cutting edge than what the Samsung and Apple and Bose are doing, but we're doing it for our crowds. We're doing more specialized versions of those types of things on earbuds, and we'll move into headphones, and we'll move into outdoor speaker and systems and more advanced earplugs. And we'll just continue to leverage very heavily off of our innovative DNA and this AXIL brand and our audience and fan base that we're working with, and can, we go at it from the aspect of we're really gonna bust our tail and work with our industrial engineers and designers and our contract manufacturers and our own manufacturing and all of that to deliver more, because our crowds need more. They demand more. Our crowds are in more intense professional and recreational lifestyles. And that's where our focus is to get our technology doing more, because our crowds need and demand more and deserve more, quite frankly.
I have been working with you guys for a couple years. Started out with the regular GS Extreme, then the GS Extreme 2.0, and I like them. And I've, a lot of my members, my audience, have liked them as well. But the number one complaint they've had about the GS Extreme was the wires on them. They were like, "Man, John, I want something that works like this, but without wires." Sounds like we got that with the XCORs, where that's not the only improvement that you've made to them, getting rid of the wires. So can you tell us what is special about the XCORs and then how they're different from the GS Extremes?
Yeah, so the GS Extreme, candidly, was a stepping stone to get to the XCOR. We'd started on wireless earbuds back in 2006, had prototypes 2012, but it just didn't hold up on the connectivity in like fitness gyms and some of the environments that our crowd really needed it in. And so we held off and just were very committed to delivering the best, not the first, to market. And this XCOR delivers that. I mean, not only is it a massive step up from the GSX, but it's a massive step up over anything you're going to buy in a general shelf down at Best Buy or whatever. So to answer your question specifically, how does it compare with the GSX? Well, the GSX and the lanyard, and GSX is also an analog technology. And so you're going to get good sound performance, you're going to get good audio, you're going to get good hearing protection, you're going to have the lanyard there with the control sticks to do it all. But again, that was a stepping stone to be able to launch that out to the market while we were really perfecting and tweaking the XCOR. And so now with the XCOR, you step up and you've got digital technology, which means that will take a sound wave and convert it into digital code, then recreate a brand new sound to put into the ear exactly the way we want it. Plus, it will also process sounds over 1 million sounds per second to create the most natural, true-to-life hearing experience and make that a lot more comfortable, a lot more natural, a lot more clear, just a lot more enjoyable hearing quality, and digital hearing protection just gives gives the most smooth sound shutoff and hearing protection that we've ever been able to find. So hearing quality, hearing shutoff for protection, the audio on it, all of those things go up substantially when you're dealing with digital technology and bringing that into the mix on it and getting rid of the wires.
Yes, I have noticed that in addition to the wires being gone, it looks like the sound quality seems better. Just overall is better, and then there was a little bit of a hiss with the GS Extremes that I'm not seeing with the XCORs now, or I'm not hearing with the XCORs.
Yeah, all of that is raising the level. This isn't upgraded technology from the GSX. The GSX is its own technology. This is brand new technology that the world has never even had access to before. This is brand new technology. We have worked on this level of technology. This is the third level of technology that we've worked on over the last 12 years to really get this product to our satisfaction so that we would be willing to put our name on it and release it out to the market. And this last one, we've worked on that for quite a long time, but to get it into the realm of digital, that makes everything better, makes the audio better, makes the hearing better, makes the hearing protection better, makes the hands-free communication better, just makes the whole experience better. And it's all brand new technology, not just increased from something else that we've been doing. So we're very excited about it. This is the only pair of earbuds I've been using for the last year and a half on my prototypes before we launched this out a month ago. And I've been an earbud junkie since I was 12. Anytime you'd ever get in my truck in my adult life, you'd see 25, 30 pairs of earbuds sitting around my truck because I was just constantly testing, trying to find things that fit good, that sounded good, that, could move to wireless, that, and then tie into hearing enhancement and protection. And between my realm of hearing specialist all those years in my clinic, and then product developer and innovator, and then earbud junkie and music enthusiast and shooting and hunting and outdoor enthusiast, and all those things combined, and then our team of industrial designers, sound engineers, all of that are phenomenal. And we just kept working at it to deliver something that we ourselves truly loved, so that we knew it was ready for our crowd, and that our crowd would truly love. And this is awesome. I mean, top, people out there know that we've partnered in on a licensing agreement with Sig Sauer, and we just announced, a couple of weeks ago that we've partnered in on a deal with NASCAR to be able to take this out and do this. The XCOR is what we would consider our first true flagship product among many flagship products to come. That's the one that we would consider our first true flagship product. And all of those guys, even the top guys at Sig Sauer and NASCAR and different places that we're working with, they all came out and said, for how good these are and everything these do, they're like, you guys should be selling these at $4.99 MSRP. They're like, you guys should be selling this for $500 a pair. And we're like, no, we're not doing that. We're keeping it as affordable as we can to help get it into as many ears as possible and get that product out there. And so we've kept our price down very reasonable for the fact that if you go out and you look at other earbuds that range from, $200 up to $300, and you look at our price point of $349, and we often offer a $50 or $75 coupon off depending on different promotions and things that we're doing, but based on if somebody buys one or two pairs. But we're giving so much more into those earbuds, and they're so much more specialized than anything out there that you're going to pay $299 for. Anything that you're going to pay about the same price for is what we're charging for ours. These are far more specialized. They're digital. The touch control pad on them to be able to control the hearing and the sound versus the audio. And my favorite part of this product is that of these earbuds is that I can have my hearing enhancement and protection going at the same time that I have my audio going. So if I'm out hiking and I want to hear somebody talking that I'm hiking with, and I still want to have some audio going, I can kind of put that about the same. My hearing enhancement's about as loud as my audio. If I go onto a shooting range and I'm not really talking, but I want a little bit of situational awareness going on, I can have the audio a little bit louder, the hearing enhancement a little bit softer, or vice versa. I can dial my hearing and my audio in exactly the way that I want, independent of each other, but still having them work at the same time. And that's the true magic of this earbud. Plus, you can use this for just about anything you can imagine, other than swimming underwater. Short of that, you can use these earbuds for just about. I mean, we've got guys calling us back saying, these are the first earbuds I'm using for skydiving, and I can use these and love them for skydiving, and motorcycling and hunting and shooting and tactical and I mean, our first wave of response is pretty phenomenal. And the guys, several guys who, are at the top of, Navy SEAL and military and shooting and hunting that have been in our test circle on the products the last year and a half. I mean, the responses that they send to me on the phone are, you realize this is the best wireless earbud on the planet right now. Or these are the most legit ear pro I've ever used in my life. Or I can't believe, the sound quality and the hearing and the fit and the comfort. And they don't have discs or sticks hanging out of their ears. It's all in their ears, so they can wear it with hats, helmets, glasses, any of that. They can wear it all day long for comfort. They're just the response and feedback that we've gotten on these the last year and a half and the last month since launch have been phenomenal. And to think how much effort, how much money we put into this, how much time, how much passion, all of that, and people can get that for as low of a price as they get that for. That's like, I was out at a anti-terrorism symposium in New York about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I was showing it. It was about 5 weeks ago. It was a week before launch, and I was showing it out there and just taking pre-sales on it, just because it's a crowd that I work with for the last 10 years that I just go out of my way to support what they're doing and what's going on. And so many guys just walked by, and when they saw what it was and what was going on, they just said, man, that's probably going to be $500. Here's my credit card. I want to order a pair. We're like, no, we're going to do it for you for a lot better price than that on it. And people have been blown away with great response on it.
So while these earbuds are suitable for all sorts of utility, right? The skydiving thing that you said was very interesting, NASCAR, motorcycles, etc. This is a hunting podcast, and we're talking about the suitability for them. And it's interesting, the things that are most desired for a hunter that's wearing EarPro, right? First, you got to be able to protect your ears. That's the number one thing, but it's got to be comfortable to wear for hours at a time, right? You don't want to have to, an animal pops out, all right, let me put my EarPro in and get ready, because you may only have a few seconds to do that. So you got to be ready. So you got to be able to wear this thing for maybe 8 hours a time, comfortably. Need to have, ideally, right, hearing enhancement, right? So you just put regular earplugs in your ears, it'll work, and you can walk around a long time, but you're going to be kind of walking around a little bit in the dark, so to speak, not be able to hear well. Situational awareness won't be good. And then you also got to have, in that same vein, you got a sound that comes from your left side. You have to be able to tell that it comes from your left side, and sometimes there's distortion with different types of hearing protection where you hear the sound, but gosh, it's on my left or my right, in front of, behind me, whatever. I just got back from an extended trip to Africa where I was wearing the XCORs basically all day long. I'd put them in 6 a.m. when we'd leave, take them out at lunchtime, put them back in the afternoon. And so I was wearing them for 4 to 5 hours at a time, 10 hours a day thereabouts. And I could wear them all day comfortably. And the sound quality was great. I could kind of tell that I had something in my ears, but I could wear them for a long time without them bothering me. And the sound quality was a little bit higher than usual, but comparable to what I had just with my regular ears. So I could talk to a guy, whisper, no problem. I had all of my situational awareness with sounds around me coming from the appropriate side, and I did not feel handicapped at all by wearing them. In fact, I actually felt like I had a little bit of an advantage. I was hearing things before other people did, and I could point them in the right direction. And sure enough, you'd see an animal over there, something like that. So all in all, this has been the first ear protection that I've ever found that has been just ideal for everything that I would want while actually hunting. It checked all of those blocks out there and actually just kind of improved my performance a little bit. And as good as the GS Extremes were, and they're good, and I still recommend them, these are a big improvement over that. And it checks all the little things that I wished were improved on the GS Extremes, or were better or one way or another. And all in all, man, just really good. This is the first thing, like I said, you could wear for darn near all day long and kind of forget that you had it, and it did everything that I would want out of ear protection like that. So good work with the XCORs.
Well, man, thank you. That's quite a big statement, and quite valuable feedback coming from you specifically. And everything that you do in the big game hunting world and everything. That's exactly what we were going for. And that digital, again, just really enhances the quality of everything. I mean, that's when we started Sport Ear back in 2000. That was our claim to fame back then, as the first 100% digital product lineup, for hearing and hearing enhancement. Now to get it, and we were charging $2,000 and $3,000 for custom fit. Now for us to be able to get this digital down into here, for exactly what you're talking about. So it's a more natural sound experience. You still have that edge to your hearing and that advantage that you want when you're out there listening to things outdoors in your ears. You're relying on every bit as much as your eyes, and in some situations even more. And that digital sound quality coming through so that you really get that lifelike sound quality and hearing experience, and right along with that directionality. Any hunter who's out there in the mountains are listening for that, that little bit of sound going off, in the distance, whether it's hearing a bull elk a little bit farther away, or a twig snapping, or down in the bush down in Africa, and hearing those different things, and just getting a little bit quicker jump on things. I mean, that's priceless when you're out hunting, and when you're in the outdoors in general. I really appreciate your feedback and everything that you just mentioned on it, because that's coming from you. That's tremendous validation, for us and what we've been wanting to pull off with the XCOR.
Well, I was hoping to find something like this, and I'm glad that you guys were able to develop a product that really checked all of those blocks. I noticed that you had I guess it was the prototype of the XCORs on the hunt you and I did in Colorado this past October, and
Yep.
I remember you were just wearing them just darn near all the time and messing with them and this and that, and then you gave us some prototypes at the end of that hunt, and then you made a bunch of improvements to those prototypes for the production quality XCORs that are coming out now. And I know one of the complaints some people had that I did with the prototype was the tips coming off get stuck in your ears when you would take them off. I have not had that problem with the current production version, right? So what someone would buy from you right now, I've not had that issue with it. What was the change that you guys made to fix that issue?
It's very finite adjustments in the tooling. When we put together the plastic injection tooling, it's just really finessing that. You take the silicone tip and you have the hole in the middle of it that you're putting the sound port into, and we have to just go in there and so very carefully perfect that so that it's as snug and solid as possible. So when you put it on there, it's really holding on and not coming off. But that's like microscopic detail to getting that tooling adjusted, just absolute precision on it. Mm-hmm. And we just kept going through multiple runs until we got it dialed in to where we weren't having that problem hardly at all anymore. And we haven't had that complaint at all so far. Not to say that can't happen. It can happen with any earbud out there. But we really have dialed that in. And you gave us really good feedback on that early on, and others had given us good feedback on it also, plus our own experience with it. And so we just kept very carefully finessing all of that fit of how the tips and the sound port come together to dial that in.
Now, many years ago, I was using a different type of hearing protection that I no longer use, and I was on a big hunt in New Zealand, and I got the tip stuck in my ear, and
that's fun.
And it was stuck in there for a couple days before I was able to get it out, and it was just miserable. Yeah. But so I'm sensitive to that, and I also know too that like even with hearing aids that people spend thousands of dollars to get, every now and then, right, the tip is going to come off in a person's ear, and so it's just kind of the cost of doing business with it. And there are things that you can do to reduce the odds of that happening, but there's also things that the user can do to put them on and take them off properly. I know you guys had instructional videos with the GS Extremes on how to fit them properly and then put them on and take them off. I'm assuming either you already have those for the XCORs or you'll be doing those sort of videos for them in the future.
Yeah, we're finishing those up right now. Those should be posted online within the next couple of weeks. So the instruction manual is really good, but when we go through and we do the videos, when we finalize the videos, I mean, a lot of it's already been done. But as we finalize that, and sometimes we wait to finalize the online instruction manual until we see fully what the main things are that are coming back. And so in this case, we've waited for just the first month. I mean, we've already known more than enough about what's going on here, but we still wanted to get a little more feedback from our crowd on it so that we make that comprehensive for everyone. But we'll have that done over the next couple of weeks and posted online. I say anytime you're going out, anytime you're taking earbuds or hearing aids or anything out there on a trip, always throw in a pair of rounded end tweezers, not sharp tweezers that could puncture the eardrum or anything like that, but rounded end tweezers. Always put those in there because you never know if something comes off in your ear. And it's not just, earbuds. You can use a good pair of tweezers for anything. But if you have a good pair of tweezers, you can reach in there on your own and clip that and bring that right back out, safely and not have to go through the aggravation of having something stuck in your ear. The other side of it is going and watch the videos like what you're bringing up and mentioning that we'll have online sooner than later, and we'll show just how to kind of tip that earbud forward just a little bit and pull that out. That in addition to everything we've done on the tooling and the fitting and getting that dialed in, and then how you pull that out of the ear, I mean, I haven't, it's probably been 6 months since I've had a tip come out in my ear. And that was from the prototype ones, not the production ones. I haven't had the tip come off on the production one yet in my ear either on it. So we've improved that a ton. Also, the way I pull it out of my ear helps out a ton. And then I just always make sure I have a set of tweezers around if I'm, around my house, or if I'm going out hunting or in a bag or whatever, so that whatever I need a pair of tweezers for, it's there for.
Now, in that same vein, I'm sure with the XCORs, just like the GS Extremes, it's extremely important for people to use, one, the right type of tip that you include in there for appropriate ballistic protection, and the one that fits them the best. You're going to include a small, medium, and large to, one, make it more comfortable to wear, two, give you appropriate protection, and at the same time also just minimize the chances of problems with it down the line, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So people can use this with silicone and they will get decent hearing protection with it. But if they're really out shooting and doing more extreme sounds on it, the foam is the very best to use. And this comes with small, medium, and large in silicone and small, medium, and large in foam on it. And then here shortly we'll have a medium and large, longer, thicker, more dense foam for people who have just gigantic ear canals, and they just need that maximum size and density to really get the very best hearing protection on things, and so that's all that's all there. And the extra foam for bigger ears is coming here, should be here by the 1st of July. We should have that all finalized and out. We didn't think we needed it. We already had it mostly done. We didn't think we needed it, but the feedback we've gotten the first month is there's still, less than 1% of the crowd who needs that. And so for that less than 1% of the crowd, we want to make sure we have it for them so that they get the best hearing protection that they can.
Now, I did not have to deal with this on my hunt in Africa because the weather was pretty mild there, but I live in Texas, and it's quite often pretty warm and humid here, and I sweat a lot. How is that going to affect the XCORs, if I'm wearing them under just really hot conditions like that, and I'm just covered in sweat?
So they have solid water resistance to them. They're not waterproof. But just using them general use in rain and sweat and all of those things, they're going to work and do just fine. On the rare occasion that you may see something go out because some water got down inside of it or whatever, generally all you have to do is just blow a little bit of air in there to dry it out, or let it set out for, you could take a blow dryer and just hold it back from the device, not so close that it heats it up or anything, but you pull it back from that, let it air it out good. You can get a little hearing aid dehumidifier kit and use that for the earbuds, so that when you're in hot environments, hot, moist, hot, humid environments, that you can drop those earbuds in that at night and let that draw that moisture back out of it. You can let it sit for a day or two. If it's ever gone out, that's usually enough to dry it out and for it to come back on. 99% of the time, those three things that I just mentioned are going to take care of it just fine, and you're going to get along most of the time without any problem at all. And an occasional thing, that's how you deal with it. If the problem still persists, then get it back to us, and we'll sort it out and take care of it.
Now, how long are the batteries typically going to last in the XCOR?
So you're going to get up to about 6 to 7 hours on audio. You're going to get up to 13 hours on hearing enhancement protection. If you're using them both at the same time the whole time, then you may drop down to about 5 hours of total use on it. So very, very, very solid battery life for the technology that's in it and what we're doing and what's going on, and should get people through most days just fine. Plus you have a charging case that comes with it, and so you're going to get a full charge. Anytime you charge it all the way up, It's comparable with other other wireless earbuds where you get a full charge in the earbuds, plus you get 2 additional charges in the case. And, it takes, I think, about a 2-hour time frame to do a full recharge. So, and you can do a quick charge and get pretty good life out of a quick charge in about 20-25 minutes. So the way that it's designed, you can get through your day just fine working through it.
Yeah, I did not have issues with it in Africa. For the listener,
you're saying you wore it 10 hours a day, but you obviously weren't listening to audio that whole time when you're out there hunting.
No, so I wasn't listening to any Bluetooth at all. It was all enhancement, and I was taking a break in the middle of the day, drop them into the case, let them charge back up. And so this is a deal where
perfect.
Yeah, so if someone's maybe in the wilderness for say a week at a time or something like that, you'd have to charge them off of maybe a battery pack or something. They're not going to last days and days and days of hard use, but they're like AirPods, right? You take them out of your ears, it turns them off, and then that recharges them a little bit when you put them in there, take a little break, and then obviously recharge them overnight.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And if you take if you're in the wilderness, you take a portable, battery pack with you out there so that you can recharge it back up while you're out there. That works just fine. We are looking and co-developing some really good outdoor power banks, just for that exact purpose that you're talking about. And we should have those out within the next, 6 to 12 months so that people can throw that into the mix also and have it be a lot more substantial, durable, outdoor-oriented power battery pack than the general things that you find on Amazon or Best Buy shelves or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Now, I know that this was a gigantic leap forward for you guys, and a lot of time spent in the development and then the production and now distribution of the XCORs. But the question I have to ask is kind of what does the future hold for you guys now that you've got them launched? What's next?
Well, we just barely got them launched, so we have a wide open realm ahead of us to build that distribution out throughout the U.S. and throughout the rest of the world. And we will launch we will build out that XCOR lineup pretty solidly in different arenas. We'll come out with versions that have really like over the top killer audio. We'll probably do some different things on different colors for our crowd and building these out for different audiences. As mentioned earlier, we'll be co-branding these with NASCAR as well as with 6 Hour for those different crowds that we go after and the audiences that we look to serve and get this out to. So we'll do a lot with the XCOR product, brand, and line in and of itself, and we'll take that very far. But then we'll be doing things for very unique headphones for our space that have never been done before, and outdoor speakers and new earplugs and new versions of the GSX that are more professional grade for, two-way radio and different things like that. And so we have a pretty aggressive, innovative lineup coming, in the year ahead that we'll just keep expanding on there and beyond and just continuing to expand our distribution throughout the world and keep coming up with really valuable innovations to our professional and recreational crowds that we work with.
Mm-hmm. Well, as we wrap up, is there anything else you feel like you need to mention about the XCORs?
No, I really appreciate everything that you've talked about and the questions that you brought on it, and the things that we've talked about, I think cover that product really well. But just like you said, so many of your listeners and your crowd have wanted that next level, and that's exactly what we've been working on for a long time, to bring that next level done the right way, in a way that I could look at that and say, that is now definitively my favorite earbud on the planet, and it does deliver that next level for the people who are looking for that, and it's a phenomenal product for a very, very affordable price. So I appreciate you taking the time today to invite us back on and walk through it, and really appreciate the very validating feedback that you've given today also.
Well, I am happy to do it. I think this is a great product, and I appreciate you taking some time out of your really busy schedule to come on the show and talk to us about it.
Yep, happy to do it.
As you probably know, if you have paid attention to my work for any length of time, I am a big believer in wearing quality ear protection while hunting and shooting. I've seen too many cases of people ruining their hearing while they were young, doing a lot of things, but especially shooting without ear protection or with crummy ear protection, and then really regretting it later. Fortunately, there are some excellent hearing protection options for hunters these days that are way better than what we had just 5 to 10 years ago. I have used a lot of that stuff, but the XCORs are my favorite ear protection for hunting at this point. I still think the AXIL GS Extreme earbuds are good, and they were my favorite hunting ear protection until now, but the XCORs improved on the GS Extreme in several different ways and fixed a lot of the issues people had with them. They're more comfortable to wear for hours at a time, the sound quality is better, and they're cordless. They're basically like having Apple AirPods that also provide ear protection and hearing enhancement. I will do a more detailed review in the future, but bottom line, the XCORs are the only ear protection I'd feel comfortable using when trailing a Cape buffalo in the thick bushveld, where your life depends on having all of your senses working at 100%. As a matter of fact, I've done exactly that with the XCORs, and I was thrilled with how they performed. And I think that sums up how I feel about them. Do yourself a favor, buy some AXIL XCOR electronic earbuds for yourself. Click the link in the show notes or go to thebiggamehuntingblog.com/earbuds, EARBUDS, to get the best available pricing on the XCORs. That is an affiliate link, and I will earn a commission on your purchase, but it comes at no extra cost to you. And like I said, you will get the best available pricing on the XCOR earbuds at that link anyway. Remember, you can make your dream hunt turn into a reality, and I can help. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you back here next time on the Big Game Hunting Podcast.
This show may be over, but we have plenty more for you on our website. For more information on today's topic, as well as lots of other useful hunting resources, head over to thebiggamehuntingblog.com. We look forward to having you back for the next episode. But until then, happy hunting.